Hello, Millers. Welcome back to another week of SHS Media. My name is Emma.
And my name is Julio, and we are your hosts.
Let's start this week off with some updates around the school.
Getting straight into sports Monday, December 9th, we are loaded with plenty of home basketball games with our boys and girls junior varsity starting at 4 p.m.
Then that heads into our boys varsity game at 5:30 p.m. and then right after, girls varsity will be at 7 p.m. All games are against Canby High School.
On Wednesday, December 11th, boys basketball will have an away game at Ridgeview High School at 5 p.m.
Then on Thursday, December 12th, girls will have a home game against Silverton at 5:15 p.m.
Boys have another game on Friday, December 13th at Centennial High School at 5:45 p.m.
Lastly, this week's boys basketball plays on Saturday, December 14th. This is a home game against Hillsborough High School at 2:30 p.m.
Now to introduce our first segment this week, here's our returning teacher feature.
Hi, I'm Caleb Kostechka. I'm the instructional coach here at Springfield High School. This is my second year in this job, and I'm guessing a lot of people are just wondering, like, what am I doing here? You can usually see me in the library. Most of you, though, probably have seen me in your teachers' classrooms, either working with them during their prep, or sometimes videotaping in a classroom, or sometimes observing in the background. I know a number of your students have asked questions, too, about questions about teaching, what they're learning, and so I want to tell you a little bit about, what my job is. I've taught for 23 years. I taught middle school and then high school, and I taught for 21 years in 4J schools at Churchill, North, South, and Sheldon. So I've taught at a lot of schools before. My primary teaching was language arts and philosophy. And when I took this job, the way it was sold to me was that the idea of, I actually didn't know what an instructional coach was, and a friend of mine told me I'd be good for it, and so I gave it a shot. And basically, the way I think of it is that there's two ways you can think about when professionals get better at what they do. How do they go about doing that? And a lot of you might think, okay, you study at school, you practice a little bit, you learn, you graduate, and then you go on and just do your job and make your way on your own. And that's one way I think people sometimes think about how we get better at things. Here at Springfield, we're lifelong learners, all of us teachers, and you can learn on your own and read books. Another way to do that is kind of, I think of it like the sports approach. LeBron James never says okay, I'm done. I've gotten as good as I can at whatever I'm doing. What they have is a coach. And basically what I do is work with teachers. And a lot of it, I think, is it's hard for teachers sometimes to observe and critique their own practice because it's a really complicated profession. I don't know if you know this, but teachers make, the research I saw was about 1,500 decisions a day. I think air traffic controllers are the only job equivalent to how many decisions a teacher has to make. So when they're doing that in the classroom and they're trying to manage classroom management and they're trying to teach you the subject matter and they're also trying to really notice all the things that are happening at one time and think of the best question to ask, it gets really complicated. It's hard to see a clear picture. And so one of my jobs as a coach is just like athletes watch footage of their game day, what they did. In the moment when the quarterback's trying to get the throw off, they're not able to see everyone in the field, but video footage lets them be able to see what's actually happening. And so what I do often is observe a teacher. Oftentimes I videotape, and we sit down with some kind of goal in mind. Sometimes it's more students interacting with the class. Sometimes it's raising student grades. Sometimes is, all right, am I asking the right questions to get students talking and to really thinking at a higher level? And what I'll do, each teacher's objective is different, and we sit together and we kind of brainstorm, how are we going to get to this goal? And I'll watch the class, or I'll look at an assessment, and we'll work together to refine that and see if we have an impact on you students at Springfield High School. So all of my job it boils down to trying to make your schooling experience the best experience it can be and to make your learning the highest level it can be at. And so that's what an instructional coach does. I was also asked to talk a little bit about what I do outside of school. My biggest hobby is I'm a writer. I like to write short stories. I like to write memoir stuff. I'm a raft guide. I taught in Maupin, Oregon for a year and became a raft guide when I was out there, and I still do that pretty much any chance I get. I also coach Ultimate Frisbee, and I coach Kelly Middle School's Ultimate Frisbee team, and I'm an assistant coach at North High School's Ultimate Frisbee team. Hamlin just got their first Ultimate Frisbee team this year, so maybe at some point I'll be here in Springfield coaching Ultimate as well. And the last question I had was what inspired me to teach. Both my parents are educators, and when I went to college, I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and we had to declare our major, and I was going to be an architect or a marine biologist, so I took a lot of science and math courses, and the more and more I thought about it, I wanted to have a job where I get to have interesting conversations with people the rest of my life, and I thought teaching literature and philosophy would be one way to do that. What fills my happiness bucket is really working with, not with adults, but with students as well. It was students for 23 years, but now with adults, just watching people have moments, having people reach towards a goal and helping them reach that really inspires me. It makes me super happy, and it feels like you're making a difference in the world. My son the other day, he was playing the board game, The Game of Life, and he's like, Dad, as far as college education goes, teachers kind of down there as far as like the payment goes. You didn't like win. And I'm just like, dude, this board game is not encompassing like the things that are important in life. And yeah, it might not be the highest paying job, but as far as rewarding, as far in my filling my heart each day, it's a pretty great job. So thanks.
Thanks for joining us with this week's teacher feature.
Continuing with sports, boys and girls swimming has a meet Friday, December 13th, starting at 4:15 versus North Eugene at River Road Pool.
Boys wrestling has a tournament also on Friday, December 13th at Philomath High School. The time is to be determined. They have another one at McKay on Saturday, December 14th at 9 a.m.
Girls wrestling has a tournament at Junction City High School on Wednesday, December 11th at 6 p.m.
Now for our academic updates.
The school's late work deadline is Thursday, December 12th. Make sure to turn in all your work on time.
Orchestra has a concert at 7 p.m. in our auditorium on Friday, December 13th.
And most importantly, we have an early release on Friday, December 13th this week.
For our next segment, we would like you to join us for a daring debate with our lovely guest stars, Urith and Rachel. I'm your moderator today for this daring debate. You guys will have 1 minute each to argue for which Roblox game you think is the best. Rachel, what are you debating for?
I'm debating for Dress to Impress.
Urith, what are you debating for?
I'm debating for Meep City.
Okay. Rachel, you will start with 1 minute to argue your case. Ready? Your time starts now.
Dress to Impress is the best game for a numerous amount of reasons. You can express your creativity and do different styles that you couldn't normally do. It comes with different themes and allows you to compete with your friends, and then you all vote and everyone actually gives everybody else 1 star, but they pretend they don't. And it's just like a fun game to play with friends and just like express yourself in ways that you couldn't normally, and try out different things and like be a different aesthetic. And I don't really know what Meep City is, but it just sounds kind of lame, and I can play Dress to Impress for hours, and you know what? I would win, because I would.
Urith, are you ready to argue your case for why Meep City is the best?
Yeah.
Your time starts now.
Okay. Meep City, first of all, it's an oldie, but it's a classic. And you, honestly, it's tear-inducing because you can go on to that game. You can be who you want to be. You can be who you want to be. I'm sorry, this is just... The game has been my rock, and I just don't see a better game. I mean, you can talk to your friends, you can go to a pizzeria, you can go get a cup of coffee or a shake, you can go to the hospital if you get hurt. Do you know how important that is? My safety? Yeah.
You know what? I would like to change my vote. I agree. Meep City is the best Roblox game.
Thank you guys for your time. That was a wonderful debate, and I think we have a clear winner, and that is
Dress to Impress.
If you'd like to join us here in Advanced Media, if you have any feedback or there's anything you would like to see on SHS News, scan the QR code on the screen and fill out our feedback form.
We want to involve our student body in the making of our show, so if you have any ideas for segments or ways to involve you, let us know.
You can follow us on Instagram at SHS Advanced Media for behind-the-scenes look of our production.
And that's all we have for today's episode of SHS News.
We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.